opened my eyes and gasped. My chest heaved. I stared at the velvet box in Julian's hands. A diamond ring sparkled inside. "Elara, are you okay?" Julian asked. His smile was bright, completely hiding the poison in his heart. I was back. I was really back. This was the exact night my past life started its downward spiral into betrayal and death. I looked past Julian. I saw my sister, Maya, standing in the shadows of the living room. She was crying softly. She always knew how to play the victim. "Elara, will you marry me?" Julian asked again. The room was silent. In my last life, I said yes. I loved him. But they spent years destroying me behind my back. They took my money, my pride, and eventually, my life. This time I looked at the ring. I forced a tear to fall down my cheek. I gently pushed his hands away. "I can't do this, Julian," I whispered. I made sure my voice trembled perfectly. "What?" Julian dropped his hands. His smile vanished. "What are you talking about?" "We love each other." "Do we?" I asked softly. "Or do you just feel obligated to me?" "Elara, you are not making sense," my mother, Mrs. Vance, interrupted. She stepped forward, her face tight with worry. "Stop ruining this perfect moment. Say yes." "I can't," I said, my voice breaking. I pointed toward the shadows. "I see how you look at my sister, Julian. I see her tears right now." Maya gasped loudly. She stepped into the light, covering her mouth. "No, Elara. I am just so happy for you, really." "Don't lie, Maya," I said sadly. "I see the way you two look at each other. I know about the late-night texts. I know you both hide your feelings to protect me." "Elara, it is not like that," Julian stammered. His face turned completely white. "Don't pretend, Julian," I said, wiping a tear from my eye. I saw her tears. I know her heart. "Take care of her. I release you." "Elara, please," Maya cried out, rushing forward. "I would never steal your man." "You aren't stealing him," I said gently. "I am giving him to you. I won't stand in the way of true love. I want you both to be happy." My father, Mr. Vance, frowned deeply. "Julian, is this true? Do you have feelings for Maya?" Julian looked at Maya. She was sobbing perfectly, looking small and fragile. Then he looked at me. He didn't answer. His silence was louder than words. "Unbelievable," my father muttered, shaking his head. "Oh, my poor Maya," my mother sighed, rushing over to hug her. "It must have been so hard keeping this secret." She didn't even look at me. She always asked me to sacrifice for her weaker sister. "I am so sorry, Elara," Julian whispered. He looked down at the floor, totally ashamed. "It is okay," I lied. "Just treat her well." Grandpa Vance slammed his cane against the floor. The loud thud made everyone jump. He walked over to me. His sharp eyes scanned my face. "You are a strong woman, Elara," Grandpa Vance said deeply. "You have made a selfless sacrifice today. I am proud of your maturity. You deserve far better than a confused boy." "Thank you, Grandpa," I whispered. "Julian," Grandpa Vance barked. "Take your ring and leave my house. If you want Maya, you can court her properly." "But Elara is the true heir to my respect." "Yes, sir," Julian mumbled. He grabbed Maya's hand and pulled her out of the room. I walked out of that room with a broken smile. My mother was already comforting Maya in the hallway. My father was scolding Julian. But as I closed my bedroom door, my smile changed. The tears stopped instantly. I was not sad. I was laughing inside. The trap was set. They thought they won. They thought they got exactly what they wanted. But I knew the truth. Julian was arrogant and blind. Maya was selfish and greedy. Together they would ruin each other. Let them have each other. I was finally free. 3 years passed. I never looked back. "Elara, we just closed the Miller account," Chloe said. She walked into my office and dropped a file on my desk. "That makes us the top design firm in the city." "Good work, Chloe," I smiled. I knew leaving my family's shadow was the right choice. "You built this from scratch," she said fiercely. "I am just glad I came with you." The door opened. Liam walked in. He didn't say much, but his presence filled the room. He was my top investor, and over time, he became my true partner. "Dinner to celebrate?" Liam asked, his voice calm and steady. "Absolutely," I said. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Sarah, the maid who worked for Julian and Maya. "Maya threw another vase today. Julian's credit cards are maxed out. They are screaming again." I locked my screen. "Just a spam message," I told Liam. I watched from afar as Julian's perfect life with Maya turned into a living nightmare. Sarah secretly texted me everything. Maya's endless spending was draining Julian's company. Later that evening, it started raining heavily. I was working late when I heard a knock on the office door. I opened it. Julian stood there, soaking wet. He looked terrible. His eyes were dark and he had lost weight. "Julian, what are you doing here?" I asked coldly. "Elara, I need to talk to you," he begged. His voice cracked. "Please." "Come in," I said. I kept my distance. "But make it quick." He walked inside and wiped his face. "I am so tired, Elara. I am just so exhausted." "Marriage is hard work," I said politely. "It is not marriage." "It is her," Julian groaned. "Maya spends money we don't have. She screams at me every day. She cries until I give in. I was a fool, Elara. She is suffocating me. And yet, she is the air you chose to breathe," I replied flatly. "You chose your path, Julian." "I miss you," he cried. "I miss your quiet strength. You never played games with me." "Stop," I warned him. "Do not disrespect your wife in my office." "Oliver warned me," Julian muttered, mentioning his best friend. "Oliver said I was making a mistake choosing tears over loyalty. He was right. Please leave before your wife misunderstands," I told him, opening the door. "Elara, please," he pleaded. "Goodbye, Julian," I said. He walked out into the rain, totally defeated. The next morning, Chloe rushed into my office. "Have you heard? Maya just announced she is pregnant." I raised an eyebrow. "Is she?" "It is all over social media. Julian's investors are thrilled. It might save his company." I picked up my phone. Maya was desperate to keep Julian trapped after he visited me. I knew her tricks. "Hello, Dr. Evans?" I said when the family doctor answered. "This is Elara. I hear my sister is expecting. Can you make sure you personally handle her checkup today? She needs the best care." "Of course, Elara. I will head to their house now," Dr. Evans said. He was an honest man. Maya could never bribe him. 2 hours later, my phone rang again. "Elara," Dr. Evans said. He sounded very angry. "Your sister is not pregnant. She faked the test results to manipulate Julian." I exposed the lie in front of him and his investors. "Thank you, doctor," I said calmly. "I appreciate your honesty." I hung up the phone and looked out the window. The remaining trust in their toxic marriage was finally completely shattered. The cracks were too deep to fix. Karma was working perfectly. Everything finally came crashing down at Grandpa Vance's 80th birthday gala. "You look stunning," Liam said. He offered me his arm as we stood outside the grand ballroom. "I feel powerful," I replied, smiling up at him. We walked into the banquet hall. The room was filled with the city's elite. I wore a brilliant red dress that turned every head in the room. "Elara, you made it," Grandpa Vance said, walking toward me with a wide smile. "Happy birthday, Grandpa," I said, hugging him. "I heard the news," Grandpa Vance whispered proudly. "You secured the partnership with Mr. Sterling." "Yes, we signed the papers this morning," I confirmed. Mr. Sterling was a massive venture capitalist. Julian desperately needed his backing to save his failing business. But I won the deal fairly. Across the room, I saw Julian and Maya. Julian looked like a ghost. Maya looked furious. When she saw me chatting with Mr. Sterling and Liam, her jealousy completely snapped. She stomped across the dance floor. "You!" she screamed, pointing her finger at me. The music stopped. The entire room went dead silent. Hundreds of people turned to watch. "Maya, lower your voice!" Julian hissed, grabbing her arm. "No!" Maya yelled, shaking him off. "She is trying to destroy us." "Elara, you jealous witch! You stole the Sterling deal just to ruin my life. You are trying to seduce my husband." I didn't yell back. I didn't even drop my smile. I just looked at her with total pity. "Maya," I said calmly. I let my voice carry clearly across the quiet room. "I gave him to you 3 years ago. Why would I dig through the trash to take back what I threw away?" The crowd gasped. Several people whispered and laughed. Maya's face turned bright red. "You are a monster," she cried, trying to slap me. Liam caught her wrist effortlessly. "Do not touch her," he warned, his voice like ice. He pushed her hand away. "Maya, stop it. You are embarrassing me," Julian shouted. His face was twisted in agony. "You lied about the baby. You ruined my company. You ruined my life. I did it because I love you." Maya sobbed, falling to the floor to play the victim again. But this time, no one rushed to help her. My mother looked away in shame. My father glared at her. Julian ignored her completely. He turned to me. His eyes were filled with absolute despair. He fell to his knees right there in front of the elite crowd. "Forgive me, Elara. Please, Julian wept loudly. He reached out to grab the edge of my red dress. I was blind. Letting you go was the biggest mistake of my entire life. I love you. I have always loved you. I stepped back, pulling my dress out of his reach. I looked down at the broken man on the floor. There is nothing to forgive, Julian, I said softly but firmly. You are exactly where you belong. Julian buried his face in his hands and sobbed. Maya screamed at him to get up. They were a pathetic, miserable pair. I turned my back on them. I didn't need to destroy Julian and Maya. They had destroyed themselves. Shall we go? Liam asked softly, offering his hand. Yes, I smiled warmly. I have everything I need right here. I took Liam's hand and walked out of the ballroom. The cool, warm night air hit my face. I took a deep breath, feeling completely free. My ultimate revenge was simply living my best life. I stayed totally blameless, knowing Julian would spend every remaining day of his life choked by his own regret.